kid, but you're a sexy man. Sorry, I did not see the vision. Thank you, Lord, the fine you has risen.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Bees, coming at you with a very anticipated release for 2025. That is none other than the new Sabrina Carpenter album, Man's Best Friend. Way back in my channel's history, we went ahead and reacted to Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, not when it was like freshly new, but that was a big release last year, 2024, right? And it was a ton of fun. I thought, you know, you didn't have to look too deep into everything. I think it kind of all boiled down to, oh, I'm small and horny, but also like have some fun, you know what I mean? And I think had some pretty apt social commentary in there, but I don't think that was the point, right? It wasn't the most heady thing in the world, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it just has to be a little fun. However, with some of the controversy with this album cover, it seems as though there is some more room for possibly some more pointed social commentary, it seems. I don't know. I think maybe that was a lot of the fans, the populace, maybe attaching more meaning to it than there needed to be. Is it gonna be that deep? I don't know. I did see there was a snippet of a recent Rolling Stone interview with Sabrina Carpenter, where she kind of responded to this criticism of, oh, well, all your songs are about sex. And her response was, well, those are the ones that you guys made popular. So, I mean, obviously, I think a lot of the time, the media, and that goes along with movies, music, news even, the proprietors of the media are only going to show you what you want to see, right? Because sometimes looking in the mirror isn't that much fun. So putting something out there for you all to look at because you want to look at it is kind of the whole point sometimes. But that's kind of me coming off my soapbox. All of that to say, I'm very excited to get into this. I haven't heard like any of the singles, I don't think. I'm seeing here on the track listing, Manchild might be one that is familiar to me. I don't think any of the songs in this album are as invasive as Espresso and Please 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 were, and even Taste for that matter. So I'm very excited to get into this. Even if her other songs are about sex, other artists do it too. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But before we get into it, please do remember to let me know your thoughts on my thoughts as I react to this album. If you're liking my takes, if you're hating my takes, I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you ever want to join one of these live streams, go ahead and click one of the links down in the description. And if you happen to miss a live stream, but still want to see any of these videos before they come out on YouTube, go ahead and check out my Patreon, where you can get exactly that for just $1. Also, I'm like slowly rolling out like a second channel that'll be linked down in the description. Basically everything that I want to make that isn't music related, and pretty much everything else is going to go on that channel. So check it out. Let me know what you have to say. Also, I know I look like a giant tomato, but I am recording this on the first Saturday of college football season. I don't understand how Texas is ranked #1, even though the Ohio State Buckeyes won the national title, but so it is. We're playing them, and I'm going to be checking the score as I'm doing this reaction, just to let you guys know. And Ohio State's already up. Look at that. Isn't that the best thing you've ever seen in your whole goddamn life? So here it is, folks. Man's Best Friend, released yesterday here in the States. 38 minutes, 24 seconds, 12 songs. Going to be a quick little in and out, I think. Obviously, here is the album cover in question that got a lot of people riled up, which I don't understand. I think Sabrina made it pretty apparent what her whole kind of deal and aesthetic was. Obviously, this one's, I think it's a little bit more racy. I'll give you that. All these parents, like, you know, hey, there's so many kids who listen to your music, man. Do a better job at parenting your kid if you don't like it. I don't know what else to fucking tell you. I don't even think this is like the greatest shit in the world, but if it's not shit you don't want your kid to listen to, it starts with you and nobody else. Okay? Shut the fuck up. Fuck up. Let's just get to it. This is Man's Best Friend, Sabrina Carpenter, released yesterday. First song, Manchild.
You said your phone was broken, just forgot to charge it. Whole outfit you're wearing, God, I hope it's ironic. Maybe it's useless, but there's a cuter word for it. I know. Manchild, why you always come running
All right, so that's the first song, and apparently the lead single. I remember hearing, I think, the first verse of this song. I don't think I've listened to this whole song before, but I'm glad I did now. What fun. What fun. I think that this is a great extension maybe of Short and Sweet, just in terms of vibe, because I found that the last album was just so fun in general. Again, some other things to say, but other than that, just kind of a good time, and that's what this one was. Really loved the instrumentation here, kind of like a Southern Dixie thing going on with some of the guitar tones and rhythms that they're playing. How the bass is toned in this one, it's just jumpy, it's cool, gets me in the mood to have a good time. As far as this line of choosing to blame your mom, did I not just get done saying how it starts with the parents first? If you don't want your kids listening to this, that's not fucking Sabrina's problem. And quick little tangent, all these laws about, we got age verification on the internet. Age verification on the internet, you're ruining the kids. Take the iPad out of your kid's fucking throat, first of all. Okay, give him a book. Sit him down in front of Mr. Rogers or something. Quit blaming the world for problems that you can solve. First of all, yeah, I think this is even kind of an extension of please, please, please. As far as this running theme of her just trying to either trying to get away from taking care of the guy that she's with, or the guy embarrassing her to any which degree. I think there's a juxtaposition here to look into, probably. I like my boys playing hard to get, and I like my men all incompetent. So we've talked about this at length here on the channel with quite a few of the different female artists. This difference of, going after boys or men, not boys, right? These are all people of legal age, but it comes from a mentality thing. And I think, you're kind of reaching across the table there and maybe actually flipping the table, as it were, with the whole I like my men all incompetent. If Sabrina has kind of carved out this image, either satirical, which I think it is her choosing to kind of go off on this whole satirical, maybe even ironic way of I'm just gonna write all the sexy songs and that's that. And maybe you look she's just a girl, she just wants the no thinky bits. Well, you can turn the tables and go well, that's how I like my men. You know what I mean? And I think there's enough substance there to kind of know okay, there's a little bit more going on in the head there. You know what I mean? Perfect lead single. Talking about male artists. But yeah, obviously, we got Jack Antonoff back in the booth here. I do have the lyrics up on my end, but this is Tears.
I get wet at the thought of you. Being a responsible guy. Treating me like you're supposed to do. Tears run down my thighs. A little initiative can go a being a responsible guy. Treating me like you're supposed to do. Tears run down my thighs. A little respect for women can get you very, very far. Remembering how to use your phone gets me. I was wet at the thought of you. Being a responsible guy. Dance break.
You know what? It's not like I forgot how funny Sabrina Carpenter is, but I think we can go ahead and I might want to plant the flag in this. As far as anybody, any other artist, any other songwriter that we have reacted to here on the channel, she's got this this arrow going into my funny bone like nobody else. Yeah, no, this is good. And where do I draw the line as a man, right? Albeit sympathetic to the woes of modern day women, right? the expectations and standards are extremely low, because I mean, like, look at the pool, you know what I mean? So, you know, you could come off of this one and be like, oh god, it's just another just trying to keep me in line. But again, I think you got to look one level deeper with this shit, in terms of how the song is laid out. So I think the chorus, you know, you're really expecting, because, you know, tears run down my thighs. I mean, just terrific. Just terrific songwriting there. You might think that the chorus is like more suited for a song that is just entirely about things to do in the bedroom, right? One of those songs you put on a bedroom playlist. You know what I mean? But all the verses are not necessarily about things you do in the bedroom or things about being intimate. It's like, could you like hold the door open for me? You know, could you show a little chivalry? Could you show a little respect? It's those little things that get me off. And so I like that juxtaposition there quite a bit, because, and I think it, you know, comedy's all timing. I thought this was really quite funny, and I do think that is the point. If for nothing else, to just be, you know, ear-catching and quite jawing, you know, it really does set you up. So there is kind of like this false sense of security, and then you know, you hear the chorus, and it's just awesome. Did I say chivalry or chivalry? This one's growing on me, no pun intended. Spotify's being stupid. Spotify sucks. We don't have lyrics up for it, but we will now. So anyway, this is My Man on Willpower.
He always initiates calling and touching. It feels like just yesterday he wanted all four of my personalities. Now back the version I like, this one's bullshit, baby. My man on his willpower is something I don't understand. He fell in love with self-restraint, and now it's getting out of hand. He used to be literally obsessed with me. I'm suddenly the least sought after girl in the land. Oh, my comedy is this nightmare lately. Okay, he's on his big journey to find a little sense of life, a new sense of purpose, but why? Something I don't understand. God only
Why is the production so fucking good?
First cheese.
Jack Antonoff is a genius. What the fuck? Oh, man. And despite the production on this just being incredible, the instrumentation, the mixing, especially, I mean, Sabrina's already got really good vocals. I think she's one of the most talented vocalists we've reacted to here on the channel. And the mixing with the layers, it's just all so fucking perfect for her. And like the chord progression in the chorus is just awesome. I saw somebody say it's like if Dolly did disco. I know that's going to piss a lot of people off. I mean, Dolly, rightfully so, is in an echelon all on her own. She's a legend, a role model, an icon in the truest word. But if Dolly did disco, it'd sound a little bit like Sabrina Carpenter. It would sound a little bit like this. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think that was a very apt comparison to make. Now, lyrically, you know, I think in my immediate interpretation of this, and, you know, tell me what your thoughts are. I would love to hear them. It seems like this is like something like, okay, we're kind of past the honeymoon stage of things where somebody kind of leaves the honeymoon stage of a relationship before the other person, you know, because obviously, yeah, like when you do enter, like when you relate, like, oh my God, I can't get enough of you. And then maybe they go back to their own kind of interests. And it seems like she's kind of realizing that here in this one line. Yeah, okay. He's on his big journey to find a little zest for life, a new sense of purpose, but why? Now, I think you might be able to interpret that as like maybe he's just not finding the right ways to say that he's not interested anymore, which definitely could be the meaning behind this all. It just for like right here, I think you can make an argument either side. But and then on one end, I think this calls back to, maybe the self-awareness that's going on a little bit with like that first song, as far as like, I like my men incompetent, where I don't know, this is kind of giving me somebody who kind of has his shit together a little bit, not necessarily like, not paying attention to her because he's like often like partying and not telling her like where she is, but more so like, I'm just doing things that aren't you. Maybe, and that still hurts. I'm not trying to invalidate that feeling. But to me, I think at its simplest might just be it might just be one of those things where it's dealing with leaving the honeymoon stage of a relationship. And I don't give a shit what Genius has to say. I'm not clicking on any of this bullshit. Sabrina's very self-aware, and she makes fun of bad decisions she knows she makes. That's the whole point of the cover of the album. I've seen a lot of people compare this to some of ABBA's music. Well, ABBA was like at the forefront of pop production. Like nobody was doing it like ABBA did. So I hazard to say that, but I can see where that's coming from, even within these first few songs here.
Put your love in where your mouth is. Your sugar talking isn't working tonight. Tell me that you want me, but baby, if you need me, put your love in where your mouth is. Your sugar talking isn't working tonight. Your sugar talking isn't working tonight. Put your love in a way past mine.
All right, so we got Sugar Talkin' there, and I'm liking that, I'm hearing very familiar sounds that I heard in Short and Sweet. And when you're looking at a new release from an artist, your only hope is that you enjoy it as much as you did the last one. So that's either if they go back to that kind of sound, they bring a lot of familiarity back, going with what they know works, or expanding upon things and maybe trying different things, maybe even trying a new sound. And I'm not really getting the new sound vibe, but that is not a negative criticism of this at all, just something to notice, because we did get some of that R&B sound in Short and Sweet, and it's coming back here, and it works quite well. And I think, again, as far as pacing an album where you play songs, from the last few songs, I've definitely felt like it's been kind of high energy. This is a way to kind of bring us back down a little bit gently, kind of cleanse our palate a little bit. That's what I feel like this song does quite well. And then obviously getting into the lyrics, I don't think that there's a ton to look into other than action speaking louder than words. You know what I mean? Some really good wordplay. Get your sorry ass to mine. We almost broke up again last night. This is that's a loaded title if I've ever seen one.
Bullshit repeats itself. Is that how the saying goes? Predictable. All the I love yous and I'm sorry is what I said. We had our sex and then we made amends. That's right, called it off. I swear he starts working out, and on the days I'm a little much, that's when I tell him how sweet he treats me and how it sounds. At least we'll give him something to talk about. All the I love yous and I'm sorry's were said. We had our sex and then we made up tonight. again. Gave me his whole heart, and I gave him head. And then we almost broke up. We almost broke up.
Oh, it's so much fun in the worst way possible. You know, I'm sorry, Sabrina, that I have so much fun with your romantic turmoil. And thank you for sharing it with us. I think we are all the better for it and are having a grand old time with it. Gives us something to think about in the very least. You know, I know somebody said ABBA before, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I hold ABBA very, very high. Me finding ABBA when I did was like a big eye-opening experience for me. Having never listened to ABBA before, hearing that they were so great for so long, like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then listening to ABBA, you go, okay, no, I'm pissed off nobody ever explicitly told me to listen to ABBA before. So I'm protective of that comparison. But this song, the build up to the chorus is very ABBA-esque. It just is. And I think that says a lot about Sabrina and Jack here, as well as who's credited as composer. So Jack Antonoff and Amy Allen are credited as composers, as well as Sabrina, on this track. And I believe that I don't know if Amy's composed a lot of the other songs on the record or not, but this one, I mean, that comparison just fits so well to a lot of, I think, the progressions that you hear in a lot of ABBA's music. But to bounce off that, I think that the Jack Antonoff Sabrina Carpenter collab here works just so well for me, and I know it's a big joke here on the channel. Me not saying the best of things about Jack Antonoff all the time, right? And I think a lot of that had to do with maybe some of the production that I heard on a lot of the Taylor Swift albums. And even with Jack's solo shit and anything that he does alone. But this, it just works so well. The little, like, interlude in that song with the guitar, just to let it breathe out just a little bit. And the command of these tones is really working well for me. And then, so it's all that musical goodness in my ears. And then we have, he gave me his heart, and then I gave him head. Sabrina just looping it back around to remind us that we're listening to a Sabrina Carpenter song. Oh, goodness me. This is Nobody's Son.
Emotionally, that's what he said to me. Here we go again, crying in bed. What a familiar feeling. All my friends in love, and I'm the one they call for a third wheeling problem. No, yeah, I control. This week. Here we go again, crying in bed. What a familiar feeling. All my friends in love again, crying in bed. What a familiar feeling. All my friends in love, and I'm the one they call for a third wheeling. Probably leave it.
I'm going to beat the dead horse. The production continues to loop me in. And I don't want to take away from, because I know, again, on this song, Sabrina's, and she's actually credited as producer on this one as well. And actually, Jack's not credited as a producer on this track. This is John Ryan. So John Ryan, Amy Allen, and Sabrina Carpenter credited as composers on this one. Sabrina and John credited as producer. Obviously, the main artist being Sabrina. I mean, oh my God, the sound of this record is awesome. Just absolutely stunning. The string section in the song is fantastic. Again, and I don't talk about this enough here on the channel, but like, as far as like, music that's like objectively good or anything, that's going to like make you cool. if people catch you listening to it, right? And you really want people to ask what you're listening to. So Sabrina Carpenter's generally not going to be one of those artists, but who gives a fuck? It's nice to listen to. I'm having so much fun listening to this. And, you know, and it's a song about, you know, breakups, right? And, you know, how devastating trying to get into a romantic relationship can be because of the break, because of the fall, right? And I think I think a lot of the time, you know, you say, so I can grow emotionally, you know, if that's what you're citing as a breakup. I think a lot of the time you could say that, and that's coming from like a place, you know, whether you're the man or the woman in this scenario, right? I think like that's like the best way to like, hey, I'm not going to be able to handle this in the right way emotionally, right? I went into this with the best of intentions. It's also like the easiest way to do it because you can't like necessarily call somebody out on their bullshit for that because you don't know how they're feeling really. So even if that's not like a genuine thing to say, you can say that and go like, oh, fucking god damn it. Even if you think they're lying about it, you're like, well, fuck it, I'm going to be the asshole if I call you out on that. So I think maybe some of that anguish is kind of featured here. Sabrina will fucking slay at the Royal Albert venue with this album. That swing band she carries with her in this album, hearing that live will be a blast. Royal Albert Hall, everything I've seen live from the Royal Albert Hall is just some of the best sounding shit I've ever heard. The acoustics in that building are incredible.
We were so happy, why not mix it up? I'm so at peace, yeah, I can't drink enough. No way to know just who you're thinking of. Baby, I'm not angry, love you just the same. I just hope you get agoraphobia someday. And I think the schedule could be very nice. Very nice. Call up the boys and crack a Miller Lite. Watch the fight. Us girls are fun but stressful, am I right? Any given night you could be using your lips on a girl with big tits. Oh, I know where you live. Baby, I'm not angry, love you just the same. I just at the end of the rainbow, I hope you find a
All right, so that was Never Getting Laid. One of the things about Sabrina's music, like there's not like a ton of like extra thinking you have to do. There is if you want it, but these songs are just perfectly acceptable at face value. You can get into it. You can extrapolate other meanings, whether it's societal or metaphorical in that sense. I mean, but this one, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. If you don't know, maybe you don't, agoraphobia, you know, it's like the fear of like going outside. You don't ever want to like leave your house. I don't know if that's like the fear of leaving your house or the fear of the outside, but it's effectively the same thing. You know, all this talk about like, well, you know, you've got a right hand anyway. So, you know, this, maybe this vitriol you feel, you know, after a breakup where you're like, man, I hope you never get fucking, just like the little like twinkles at the end of this song. Like, you know, I'm getting like Genie, you know, that old show from like the 70s, that old sitcom. And it, like the album cover, like it looks like it's made to look like it's like a film photo or something like that, like something like a little bit older. So it as far as like kind of like, I guess like aesthetic theming going on here, chimes, twinkles. No, they're called twinkles. We have When Did You Get Hot?
so long, untouched, bone dry, not a plant can grow. About time I get back on my horse to the rodeo. Now I'm at the and I was like, huh. When did you get hot? All of a sudden I could look you up and down all day. When did you get hot? I baby, you're a sexy man. Sorry, I did not see the vision. Thank you, Lord, the fine you has risen. Big wave coming, I need a minute. Get high, I think I would remember if you had that face. Double take, triple take, turn it on naked, twist up back at you.
So, on the channel, I do say this phrase sometimes of genre blending, right? And I think there's a couple ways to go about that. Really, like one main way that I think it should be used, where in one song by any given artist, you hear influences from different genres kind of blended into one. And I think that's a very hard thing to achieve, but when it is achieved, it's like quite interesting. Another way you can do genre blending is just having songs of different genres outright on an album. And that can get messy. And, you know, you could say, well, there's no concrete stylistic vision for the piece. But you can look at it just as a way of having fun. And it's very fun when Sabrina does it. And it was very fun here. So, like, we got some, like, smooth jazz influence in that last song. And here, it's like an early 2000s R&B thing. Done so fucking well. How, like, what is it with the singles, or lack thereof, singles on this album? I feel like a lot of these songs could have been released prior in anticipation for the album, but I think the album cover maybe did enough advertising for the album just to kind of get it in, you know, the minds of the populace to know that, okay, Sabrina's coming out with the new album, and I think maybe the album cover did enough for that, did enough free advertising for the project, so they were like, yeah, maybe we don't have to release anything. No, this song was a knockout. And I think I've given enough credit to Sabrina in the sense that I find the songwriting to be very witty, very clever, very funny. But I don't think I've given her the due credit, as I think that equals just being a very good songwriter. Maybe not a good songwriter in the same ways as maybe some of our other great songwriters have been that we've reacted to here on the channel, but really great in her own way. I'm sorry, but the name of this track is just too goddamn good. Go-Go Juice. Dollar make me holla, honey boo boo child. Who remembered that? Who remembers Go-Go Juice? What was Go-Go Juice? Wasn't it Mountain Dew and Pixie Sticks? Here's Go-Go Juice.
Love when happy hour comes at 10 a.m. o'clock on a Tuesday. Guess a broken heart doesn't care that I just woke up. No party invitations, not going to the club. I'm just drinking to call someone. Ain't nobody safe when I'm a little bit drunk. Could be John or Larry, gosh, who's to say? Or the one good old-fashioned fun sure knows the pain. Ring, 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 yeah, it's super important. How many shots in an ounce? If you're still disinterested in me, well, fuck. Just trying different numbers. Didn't think that you'd pick up. I'm just drinking to call someone. Ain't nobody safe when I'm a little bit drunk. Good fashion fun sure knows the how's you been? What's up? I'm just drinking to call someone. Ain't nobody safe when I'm a little bit drunk. Could be John or Larry, gosh, who's to say? Or the one that rounds a villain if I'm feeling that fashion fun sure knows the pain.
I hit the lights and the air horn mid-song, and I'm going to do it post-song. I'm just keeping it real with you folks. I'm already going to say it. I know we're not done. This is better. This is better than Short and Sweet. It doesn't have the same hits. At least outright, right? I know Short and Sweet was a little bit older. It wasn't brand new. when I got around to it. So I had some time to kind of stew with some of the singles. It was just hearing them out in the wild, it like espresso, and it was just inescapable, right? Truly boring are the people not enjoying this album. I got to agree. It's just so much fun. The fiddles to allow it to breathe a little bit. Just let us have a little bit fun with the music, because the music is fun. And the song's about having fun when you're not having fun. Now, I would say, and just as a disclaimer, there are better ways to cope over getting dumped than drinking, right? So, hey, you're boring. Don't say that shit. Fine, I won't. Go and drink. Be an alcoholic. I wouldn't even say that it's more sonically cohesive, because, I mean, we got like a smoother kind of jazz song into like a early 2000s R&B song. So like that like kind of kills that for me, but it's the production, not to say that it was bad on Short and Street, is just so much clearer now. I don't know how much of that is I've learned to expect certain things from Sabrina Carpenter as it just kind of being fun, but oh God, the bridges have been fantastic. The choruses have been awesome. And it's just relatable stuff. You know what I mean? It's just fun. Small and writes fun songs. So Blair comes in with this and says, I'm happy I don't need to know lore to listen to an album for a change. And I got to agree with you. And I think Sabrina Carpenter fits that niche quite perfectly. And I don't even know how much of it is a niche. I think really that's like most pop music to a large degree is just like, you don't need lore. Obviously, if you look into an album with a narrative or breadcrumbs that lead to other things, either in the artist's life or things that are going on societally, that's more just meat for you to dig into. And you can have a lot of fun with a record like that. But other times I just want to listen to a bop. And that's exactly what this is. And you can count on Sabrina for that. You 100% can. So next up, we got Don't Worry, I'll Make You Worry.
Your perfect timing couldn't be worse. Actually, it's impressive how you don't read signs. So don't worry, I'll make you worry like no other girl can. So don't worry, as well as some of my best work. Not sleeping with you might help me decide, but it was annoyingly good. So thanks for making it worse.
You can't win.
But on the floor, hope you're feeling lucky. So don't worry, I'll make you worry like no other girl can.
All right, Don't Worry, I'll Make You Worry. And at the start of the song, not maybe at the start of the song, but pretty quickly into the song, I was like, this is definitely a work of one Jack Antonoff. It's very heavy, typical Jack Antonoff vibes off of this one. Just something about that tempo, like da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like in the background that he really seems to really love. Came off of this one. I'm not going to hate it for that. It worked quite fine. Again, I actually thought that a lot of the album was going to sound like this. I was actually in the mood for something a little bit more introspective, a little bit slower, and that's what I was kind of like expecting. Again, and I'm judging a book by its cover based off the album title, or based off the album cover. I'm thinking that she's really going to turn this whole, like, male gaze thing on its head a little bit more. Not to say that I'm disappointed in not really getting that as the bulk of the album, but I like how this is one of the sadder sounding songs. Definitely was in the mood for that at this point in the album. Again, this album has been paced so terribly well along in its theming. And so here, she's kind of turning the tables on herself a little bit, where she's like, you want a ticket to this train wreck? Okay, that's fine. I'll leave you feeling like a shell of a man. And it's maybe the self-awareness and, I've been hurt and I can hurt you just as easily, maybe despite my best efforts. It's like you're going to take on this emotional baggage where it stands, but if you want to, you can. I feel like in this song, she's really upset at herself for being this way, but can't really figure out how not to, if that makes sense. No, yeah. And I think, there's things that happen to you when you're involved with somebody and you're like, damn, that sucked. And then, hindsight's 2020, that maybe you get out of something and you look back on it and you go, oh shit, like I was kind of the asshole there. The best you can do is not try to take it too heavily, learn from your mistakes and move on. Nobody's infallible. Nobody's perfect. Not necessarily painting yourself as the villain to any degree, but like this is just what it is. This is what you're coming into right now. All right, couple songs left. So we're moving on to House Tour here, and House Tour seems to be a very anticipated track. So we'll see what we have to get into with this one. House Tour.
Take your shoes off. My favorite kind. Well, this is me, but if you have time, do you want the house tour? I could take you to the first, second, third floor, and I promise none of this is a metaphor. I just want you to come inside for a house tour. Yeah, I spent a little fortune on the rocks floors. We can be a little reckless 'cause it's insured. I'm pleasured to be your hot tour guide. But baby, if you come inside, my house is on Pretty Avenue. My house was especially built for you.
It's more of the same, but better. It is more of the same, but better. The ending to that, again, just really bringing home the humor in it all, just literally getting out of the car and running into the house. There's no metaphor here, so I'm not going to make any jokes. I just want you to come inside. No joke there. She just wants to show off the tour, interior design at its finest. She even got the wax floors, everybody. Are you spending the money to wax your floors? I know you're not, right? But a nice waxed floor is all that matters. Zero metaphors. I am taking the song at face value. I'm going to say this right now. I'm not even going to save this for the fucking conclusion. I'm legitimately trying to think of a better pure pop album that's been produced this goddamn well. Everything sounds so good, and she's wearing the influences on her sleeve. You can say that it's derivative, and I don't give a fuck because it's fun. Is she bringing any new sounds to the pop landscape? Not really. I don't give a shit. This is like Michael Jackson shit. That's exactly what I got out of this. Like that whole era of late 80s, early 90s, kind of like bumpy kind of pop that like Michael Jackson did so well. And it's that with all of the new technology, and they're just able to produce things like so cleanly. And I think it's refreshing when we listen to an album that's maybe a little bit more rough around the edges production wise, because that can make things interesting to listen to. But sometimes just give me something on a clean fucking platter. And this shit has just been so goddamn clean. She doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is fine, turning as it is, and this is so fun. The production gives me the new Doja Cat song, which makes the case because it's also Jack. I mean, this is just it's just fantastic. It is so good. Not that I can love this album anymore, but we got one track left. We have Goodbye. And how fitting is that? It's the last track.
Broke my heart on Saturday. Guess overnight your feelings changed, and I have cried so much I almost fainted. To show you just how much it hurts, I wish I had a gun or words. If something got lost in communication, you should know goodbye means that you're losing me for life. Can't call it love and call it quits. Can't shoot me down then shoot the shit. Did you forget that it was just goodbye? The feeling's so specific. Wanna punch you every other minute out. Au revoir, forgive my French, but fuck you, ta-ta. Goodbye means that you're losing me for life. When did you get here? Go put on some clothes. Goodbye means that you're losing me for life. Goodbye. Get home safe.
Oh, well done. A very well-deserved, well done here. Out of all of the ABBA comparisons that have been being made, this one was the strongest. Fernando, fucking Angel Eyes, right? I really like laugh songs on albums, but goddamn. Well, you know, and I'm seeing Goodbye. I'm anticipating that it's going to be a slower track, because I feel like a lot of albums like to kind of throw you down kind of gently, and it's usually just kind of easy just to throw in like a slower one. She kept the pace going here. She did. I mean, Jack, Sabrina, and team come in clutch again. I just got through saying, you know, call it derivative, call it what you want. I'll call it what I want to, and it's fucking fun. I know I keep saying that, but I don't know how much more you want to get out of this than like what it is. It's perfectly cathartic, you know, if you're going through like a breakup or something, like, hey, you know, shit, you're trading down for all of eternity if you're not with me, you know, hold your head up high. That's what this one is. And the music matches that. Bring on the fucking happy little strings and then just go to town. Continue strutting down that line the way that you and only you can do. So this is the conclusion part of the video, and I think along with this video, and I've done this in the past where I'm just keep, like talking about how much I love the album and things that I would pretty much just say in the conclusion throughout the video. But I mean, honestly, this is one of the best pop albums that we've reacted to. It just is. Purely from a production standpoint, it gets that title. I think if we're looking at it purely from production, it's just so fucking clear. Using all the genres and influences, not necessarily coloring it in the same way, but making sure it all sounds super, super good. And say what you will about Spotify and like, maybe playing like, you know, like the real like FLAC files or listening to it on this streaming platform or that streaming platform would sound better. This sounded so good the whole way through, despite genre, despite influence. And then couple that with how fun her songwriting is, even when she's not writing about shit that's terribly even all that much fun. You know, the turmoil from relationships. So a lot of the theming really is the same from Short and Sweet. So I was looking for maybe some more intense, maybe poignant commentary, and I didn't get that. But very quickly, I remembered that it's Sabrina Carpenter. She's gonna do what she does, and it's back to the whole, you know, oh, I'm short and horny kind of a thing, but with the right amount of cleverness and double entendres and a song about a house. It's just a house. What do you think about the cover given the whole context? You know, I know at the start of the video I said that, you know, in that Rolling Stone interview, she said like, oh, all your songs are about sex. Well, those are the ones that you made popular. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of your songs are about sex, girl, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. That's the way that you want to do it. I've said this in the past and I'll say it again. Sometimes I need a little bit more than just sexy time song, but I think that's what she gives us. I think she gives us more than that within a sexy time song, from the clever songwriting, the double entendres, the metaphor, and songs about houses. I think the way that she does it is quite transformative, because she's doing it in a way that is so utterly satirical that if you're getting mad about it, then really, I mean, like, check your shit at the door. I think that even like she could have even made like the same album cover for Short and Sweet, and I think it would have, you know, maybe given the same messaging there. So like, I mean, obviously, like when I'm looking at this, right, it's giving like very submissive, object of your desires kind of a deal, but she has these songs like We Almost Broke Up, Never Getting Laid, where she turns the tables the other way. And then I know it's not going to look very good here on screen, but like When Did You Get Hot, and even like Goodbye, right? Where she's like, you know, you're not the only one with power here. This could very much be you on all fours and me grabbing your hair. And I think it's very gripping and very intentional in that way to choose this as the album cover. It's still very on brand. Obviously, people are going to see what they want to see. I think at the end of the day, maybe truly judge this by the cover and say like, oh, okay, I like Sabrina because she's submissive and all that. But if you read into it, she I think there's enough there to show you like that she takes as much power back as she gives, and it's very reciprocal in that sense, because everything before Short and Sweet is not super sexy. She has 5 other albums, just for context, and I do know that, and poo on me for not listening to those other albums, but I think now, I mean, this is she's kind of cultivated, you know, this image, and it's not like she doesn't invite it. She invites it, but it's really kind of admirable that she's really owning that conversation, you know, on how women are perceived as either sex objects or in positions of power, and I think she's really balancing those two quite well, because she can handle the conversation. She invites it in and handles it quite well. So even though, you know, I said that I was expecting maybe a little bit more like real, like dramatic tracks, I am not at all upset that I didn't get it. This was just so much fun. I think I'm going to plant my flag. This is one of the best, maybe just pure pop albums that we've listened to. Again, maybe it's not in a very cohesive style. Every song is a little bit different because they're pulling from a lot of different genres here, but they make it all work so well. It all sounds so fantastic. Jack Antonoff. Nice job. Never talk to Taylor Swift ever again. So that was my reaction to Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. As a reminder, please do let me know your thoughts on my thoughts. I think there's a lot more to talk about in this album than I was able to get off here on stream. Again, these are my initial reactions, so oftentimes I have more to say about any given project that we listen to here on the channel as time passes. But please do let me know down in the comments anything you got to say to help me maybe fill in the gaps. If you want to catch one of these live streams and be here as it happens, make sure you click one of the links down in the description. And if you want to see any of these reactions before they come out on YouTube, go ahead and check out my Patreon where you can get exactly that for $1. Second channel started. I've been posting TikToks recently. I even resurrected my dead blog. I'll link all those in the description. None of them are a scam. I feel like you gotta say that nowadays. And please do let me know any other upcoming albums that you want me to react to. I'll still be getting to some classic albums, some albums that people have been really clamoring for, but I am going to really focus on new albums, I think, at least till the end of the year. Just let me know which ones you want me to react to. But with all that said, I've been Jerry Bees. You've been awesome. Take it easy.
Diggity dog. Breaking. Diggity dog. Breaking.